Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my wonderful chats with my friend Dewayne about all kinds of spiritual topics. So here we go. And also, Namaste, my dear friend Dewayne.
Thank you, Gabrielle. It's a pleasure to be here again with you today. And yeah, I'm looking forward to our chat.
Well, have you anything on your mind you want to talk about?
Well, maybe we can just start by simply maybe addressing what is happening in our world
Yeah.
currently, with all of the heaviness, all of the heavy energy that is circulating, with the release of, for example, the Epstein files. I don't want to get too deep into it, but maybe we could just talk briefly about what is happening right now when it comes to that.
Yes. Because it affects many people, especially the ones that never looked into that direction. Um, it's still affecting me a little bit. That's why I kind of took a step back from many screen hours and internet because it's bringing up all this kind of anger again within me that I had to deal in the last time, kind of my own crisis of meaning. Why am I doing my videos trying to help and inform and speak the truth while others are lying and creating fake videos and what have you, like the guy with the meteorite, pretending there is something growing, and now everybody knows he's a liar. So what did that guy gain from that? And the Epstein files, I was told already years ago by my guides, and at that time I nearly couldn't believe it. They told us, or me especially, a lot of your public figures you look up to, politicians or entrepreneurs or spiritual gurus or what have you, celebrities from Hollywood, they are corrupted. And all this will come out. Well, I couldn't believe it then years ago, but as a general kind of saying, it doesn't touch you. But if suddenly maybe the actor you always liked is accused of you know what, and it's coming out, I avoid to say the trigger words because of YouTube and censoring. But well, then you have your own disappointment and your own catalyst awakening moment. You trusted into someone who deceived you. And this is kind of what's going on at the moment in the internet. And I think a lot of people are kind of tired, sick, and fed up. But we need the disclosure as a catalyst for the ones who are more asleep and never imagined that humans could do something like that to other humans, especially to children. And this is kind of a satanic and Luciferian network. They work with blood, offer, and sacrifice. You can find that in human history as well. When I first came across the human sacrifice in Mexico with the Aztecs and so on, as a child reading that in an archaeology book, I was totally shocked. I couldn't believe it that these ancient people did that. Well, this is part of the kind of negative path. So they have to worship their demons or their negative deities to give them power by sacrificing and doing all kinds of horrible stuff. Yeah, and that's coming out now. And what we see at the moment is just the tip of the iceberg. There's much more coming, but also there are positive things happening. And I would like to stress and emphasize, don't get too much into this horrific stuff because it lowers your vibration, drags you down, and you fall into, well, feelings that don't feel very good. And it's about your own access to your own soul and what do you think and feel and how do you want to live your life and have it look like and have it feel like. So we cannot change the outside. We can only change our inside, which is much more difficult. But by that, we change the outside because everything outside is the mirror of what's inside of us. And as we still have not yet fully understood our divine power, that we are in fact a divine fractal and have all the qualities and powers and gifts that the divine has. It's only a question of what do you kind of manifest or follow and practice and embody. That's up to you. That's your choice. But it's about going inside and being your own authority and trusting in yourself and believing in your divine power and following what you think feels good and right, and not only for yourself but also for all the others. We're all in this together. No one is really single. We're connected quantumly and on soul level, and we have our friendships and our families and what have you. So we're kind of bathing in all this, and the higher energies coming in from the sun, they're bringing this kind of to the forefront. So it has to be disclosed, and be happy that it's coming drip, drip, drip. Although in the beginning I wanted full disclosure. If everything would be dumped upon us all at once, right here and now, we would go crazy. We need time to digest, and we need time to find our inner peace and build it up again after some of these horrific outside news we get. But it's about detaching and focusing inside on your own kind of soul path, your own soul quality. What do you want? How do you want the world to look like and to be like for yourself and all the others? In the end, that's just the cosmic law. It's peace. We don't have peace on the planet. There's still wars and killing going on, humans killing humans, and brotherly, sisterly love and prosperity for all, and all this via respecting free will. And that's where we are kind of working with it, on it, growing towards it, learning. And it's not always funny, and sometimes it's really very uncomfortable. But where you put your focus, your energy goes. If you focus on the negative, you feed that and make it more. And I fell into that trap, being upset about all the fraud and fake videos. And I brought my own vibration down. And then I really had to work a little bit harder to get it up again, to focus on positive things and make them grow. And sometimes even using little tricks and tools like, just watch a video of puppies or kittens. You can't help after a while smiling. They're just so cute. You would never do them harm. You want to love them and show them your affection and cuddle with them and stroke them and pet them. So this is a wonderful helper. Animals, especially the innocent young ones, can remind us of what is the innocence of the soul and the purity and the real kind of connection to build. So there's a lot of help. There's also positive stuff coming, and we have to learn to deal with the negative stuff without getting lost in it or getting lost in judgment and anger and rage and what have you, because that will not help anything. It will only drag our own vibrations down, and then we're on the level of fear and anger and rage. And from there, nothing good can ever come. We have at least to be neutral and accept, and in the bigger picture, see these souls, although acting with such kind of inhumaneness and cruelty, they are also at the same time a catalyst for others to awake. You need darkness to recognize the light. And you need to dig a bit deeper to know what you are really choosing, because it's about free will. This earth is the planet of free will. It's up to you. What do you choose? Do you run after fame, power, money, wealth, what have you? Okay, then you're on the path to service to self. And the Law of One books always emphasized that the universe is built on cooperation and not competition. It's about coming together, uniting, and forming something bigger, that serves all. So that's my view on that. And I know it's difficult, but please don't get sucked into that. I had that already years ago happening, and I was so shocked for weeks and weeks and had kind of like a depression to come over these things that I found out researching and that are now coming to the surface more or less for everyone. So give yourself some time to deal with that and not just jump to the first reaction like anger and judgment, because we're all together in this, and they play a part as well, although I would never play that part. I couldn't, but they're doing it, and they're not even knowing that they're unaware, working for the good of all as well. Like in this Faustian dialogue where Johann Wolfgang Goethe lets his devil Mephistopheles speak the sentence, I am part of that force that always wants the bad, wants evil, and yet creates good. Because like the Greek said, pantarei, everything flows, everything is moving all the time, so nothing can stay forever. Neither darkness nor the light. And it's kind of like electricity. It's feeding off like the yin and yang sign from this positive and negative polarity. And that brings creation, because you need a positive pole and a negative pole to get electricity. You need a male and a female rabbit put together to procreate. So we need the male and the female energy within us and outside of us in the world to kind of come into this creative process to create something new from that. Because all this old stuff we're still under, it's old energy, and you see it crumbling. It's not working any longer. They can't hide it any longer. They cannot lie any longer to us. More and more people are waking up. So we are getting stronger. And I think in the end, it's about the hundreds monkey effect, that if enough humans really wake up to their inner truth and their divine power, they can drag the rest along, because they are, as it is said in spiritual tradition, one really awakened person can kind of create vibration for 1,000 others and carry them with them. So I believe in the plan. I trust in the divine plan. I know there is a divine plan behind everything. And my guides say the light already kind of won. ascension is already done because we are beyond time. So we already see that you made it. So be calm, stop worrying. Worrying is praying for what you don't want. You focus your energy onto a negative outcome and you create it by that. Do you really want that? No, so stop it. Focus on the positive and focus on yourself. This is not selfish. This is self-love, self-acceptance, and caring for yourself, that you don't kind of contaminate your own body with bad food or bad thoughts and bad images you watch in YouTube or the mainstream media or television that only bring you down. The
Absolutely. I
soul
mean,
is love, joy, bliss, and happiness. That's the highest frequency. That's where we are aiming at.
absolutely. I mean, I agree with you on that. I mean, we've been bombarded with so much news, so much uh, low vibrational news that automatically brings most people into an energy of despair or fear, right? You mentioned that one action, one thing that we could do is go into our hearts, use our discernment, really try to see the bigger picture, for example, right? But what are there any other actionable things that we can do to perhaps shift our focus? One thing, for example, like I have to take daily walks. Like I think for me, going into the park is something that I can do to just get my mind a bit clearer and to take my focus off of all of the negative things that are happening in my world, in this world. um, I believe by even doing that, we can also contribute to the transformation of this dark energy, right? Of this low energy. So these are simple things that I believe that we can all do on different levels. It doesn't mean that uh, we have to go out and, for example, go to a demonstration. But let's maybe talk about things that we can do to contribute to the alleviation of this heavy energy.
Exactly, because that's kind of what is needed now. How do I maintain kind of a good vibrational state amidst all this chaos, confusion, and horrific news and what have you? So, I mean, I already kind of did, nudged by my guides, up to 300 videos now on my YouTube channel. And there's a lot of practical stuff, like in the playlist of useful self-help. There is tapping on the meridians. You can tap your anger, or you can just tap on the chest bone and say something like a positive affirmation, like I am. By that, you acknowledge your higher self and you don't kind of define, I am this, I am that, I want to be like, all this manifestation stuff that does not always work, because you have to be and match the frequency of what it is you want to gain. So if you're in need and you want to manifest money and you do it from a consciousness of lack, it will not work because the frequencies don't match. So if you want to maintain peace and a good inner um, state of being, there are a lot of things you can do using the body via tapping and going out in nature, because nature is already vibrating higher. I notice this with animals coming so close to me like never before. The wild animals come and sit 10 centimeters in front of my feet, and they look at me. They are able to see the energies in your subtle auric field, so they know the stuff that you're maybe not fully aware of, they already know because they already vibrate higher. And I feel the energy of nature is wonderful. Take a walk when it gets warmer, put your feet on the grass. And if you're maybe sick lying in bed, you can still connect to Mother Earth and Mother Nature. I made a video about how to plant your light, connect with Source, call in the white light and let it flow through you, heal you and balance and harmonize you, and then flow out through your feet into the earth to help Mother Earth also to cleanse and purge and balance out and harmonize everything that happened to her since the million of years that there is life on her, experiences so many different things, you know. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. Breath exercises are wonderful. And shifting your focus consciously onto something that makes you feel good, do something you love, you know, have 5-minute dance in your living room to your favorite music. You move your body, you move your spirit. If you only sit like this, like in depression, many people don't move, and that's the problem. If you don't move the body, you don't move your spirit. When you start a walk, there's the thoughts that are on your mind in the beginning, you know, they're all over, but at the end of the walk, they're kind of vanished, they're gone, or they changed, they transformed. You are feeling different, you're feeling better. Hug a tree, touch nature, you know, it's so simple. Or hug your pet if you have one. Animals are wonderful helpers. And it's not so much about kind of suppressing or controlling your thoughts to make the negative or bad thoughts that drag you down go away. It's a much better method to be the observer and just notice, oh, there is a thought that does not do me well, and not attached to it, and let it go like a cloud on the sky. You are the sky, clouds are coming and going, thoughts are coming and going, and feelings are also coming and going. It only gets kind of difficult when you attach and stick to something. And we're so conditioned and trained to stick to the negative ones, the anger, and I don't like that person, and what had he said about me, and talking behind my back, and all this kind of stuff. That is very personal, but you are more than your person. Detach from your person. You are a divine spirit being of energy, light, love, joy, and bliss that is having a human experience in a three-dimensional bodily vessel. So there's so much more that we don't have on the screen all the time, but just know it. And you will grow towards it because it's the highest frequency and you just can't help. Highest frequency is kind of on the highest level, and it influences all the lower frequencies, and they have to align and adjust. There was this funny experiment which I liked. Sorry if I talk too long or too much. You know, there are these metronomes that you use for playing piano to be in the right rhythm. And they put a lot of them onto a little kind of table on wheels, and they were all ticking differently, you know. So that was horrible as the sound and chaos and confusion. And they just left them like that. And after a while, took some time, they were kind of all aligning. And in the end, they were all ticking in the same rhythm. So that's kind of the law of the universe. Everything has to align with the highest frequency, which is source, unconditional love, or divine intelligence, intelligent infinity, God, however we want to call that. And our soul has a spark of that, a potential to develop into that within it. and we are connected via our heart with our soul. So we have a direct connection. Not all beings in the universe have this direct connection from them and their heart, their body, to the higher self, the soul, the whole microcosm. That's why some are after us, they want to steal that or block that power and abuse it, make us co-create stuff by kind of showing us pictures and giving us prophecies or stuff they want to have manifested. And that's why my guides, which I really love, also when I go astray, always call me back. What do you want? Care about yourself. This is not selfishness. This is healthy self-care. And if you go out like that to the world, it's different. If you're clear and peaceful inside and you know what you want that for everyone else. You want to share happiness and have everybody free and prosperous and what have you, and living in peace. Well, that's the goal, and that's where we are going to. As
You,
experiencers, we perceive it's still taking some time, and there's up and downs and roller coaster, and ooh, that looks scary, but it's not eternal. All the scary and horrific stuff will go away as well. Keep your focus on the positive. That's the only thing I can say.
thank you, Gabriel. So one key word here, you mentioned joy, right? So I guess in summary, we should really focus on the things that bring us joy in life, whatever that is, right? That is the way that we can move into a higher frequency during these times. So it could be meeting an old friend, as you said, it could be sitting in a park, it could be going to the gym, and essentially anything that brings you joy.
Yes, you yourself know best what works with you. For someone, it's a wonderful bath with foam and nice music and candles. The other one loves the gym. Whatever it is, you know what makes you happy and uplifts you. Well, do that, follow that, and plan in your day some time for doing that. Doesn't have to be 8 hours meditating, the hardcore stuff. 10 minutes, 15 minutes is already good. And it's very important how you start your day and how you end it. If you watch a horror movie and go into bed directly, then your psyche is processing these images, and that is just disturbing energy. I start my day with praying before I get out of bed. I pray for, I say thank you. I'm grateful for waking up this morning and for everything I have and everything I have in my life and what have you. And I do the same at night. So by that, I'm focusing my energy into prayer, into something positive, into gratefulness, which opens the heart so that something can comes in. If your heart is closed, well, then nothing can come in, neither good nor bad. So we really have to open up our hearts, which many people have unconsciously closed up because of pain and difficult experiences. But you can't sit like a knight in your castle, with this water around full of crocodiles eating up your enemies. No one will ever come and visit you. You have to learn discernment and let in the ones that match your frequency and send away the ones that don't match your frequency and your goals and how you want to feel, how you want to experience a conversation that uplifts you. It's really always coming back to ourselves. It's up to us. What do we choose? This is the world of free will.
So in the frequency of joy, right? If we go a little bit deeper into that, so we have these relationships, right, that we have to maintain as human beings, and we have these very close relationships. So family members, for example, right? I think when it comes to relationships with people that we may consider friends, right, it is easier to maintain that frequency of joy, right? So if there's a frequency mismatch between you and a friend, for example, it is easier to kind of separate or to refocus your energy, right? But when it comes to family members, how do you manage that?
Well, the funny thing is, as humans, we think friends you can choose, family not, you're born into it. But you forget the bigger picture. Your soul chose that family. I chose my family to feel rejected and not fitting in, to develop my own sovereignty and trust in myself and accept myself, you know. So the rejection was kind of the catalyst to develop self-acceptance and self-love and trust in myself, you know. So we choose the families, and there is always kind of a black sheep in the family that we can't get along with, or maybe we are the black sheep. I was in my family. So we need this catalyst kind of experience. And on the soul level, it's very different. I wanted to know about that as well, and I dug deeper into karma and read a lot of Rudolf Steiner, anthroposophical knowledge about, the invisible worlds and the connections. And I came across that term soul family. And that's something, you have some friends that feel like you know them since you don't know when, they feel so well known. And you have this feeling, although you think you should have, there you have something to create a problem and feel guilty. You don't have it with your brother. In the same family, you're incarnated with that brother. But that brother might have been an enemy in a former life. We're playing a game on different topics. If someone wants to learn forgiveness, he needs somebody to do something to him that can be forgiven. That includes pain and maybe horrible or painful experience of deception and disappointment, what have you. So there is another level and a bigger picture, that the people you don't get along with so well, maybe in your family, that happens quite often and is, so to speak, normal. That is a learning catalyst for you and the other as well. And you also have friendships that kind of split suddenly because the vibration does no longer match. And in the higher realms, kind of on the soul level, we are all brothers and sisters, and there is no like and dislike. We are connected and united with the kind of divine love that's flowing through all of us. So these are just different viewpoints. And even with a person that's difficult, I mean, you don't have to agree with them, but you can respect them. They have their moments or their attitudes and their opinions, and you have yours, and you want to be right. So you have to allow them the same right to be right, that they want to feel right as well. But in the end, that was one of the hurdles I had to get over. Because of my mediumship intuition, I very often was right. And then the ego came in and wanted to be right all the time. I'm the only one with the only truth. That was a bit the flair of the Rosicrucian group. They thought they are kind of chosen, they are special. And you see what happens with people you tell they are chosen. Just sorry, nothing against Jews or Israel, but they view themselves as the chosen ones. And that creates a lot of pride and hybris. And look where they are right now. They are, since I'm born in this body and on the world, and looking at television with my parents, there is war since I'm on this planet, on and off. So even in the spiritual community, the ones that make channels like the chosen ones and speak to the chosen ones, message for the chosen ones. God warns you, chosen one, don't skip this video. Hello, this is just ego uh, in a whole narcissistic hybris trying to play a divine being. And this is just not working. And it's coming out everywhere, inside and outside. And I was luckily told and learned also with the Rosicrucians. I was told in my mediumship training, it's not you, it's coming through you. It's your soul, your higher self, and your higher self allows other beings to come in to channel maybe deceased loved ones or ETs or angels or masters or what have you, or spirit guides. So that was in the beginning a bit hurting for me. It's not about me. Okay, so what am I doing here now then? But it's coming through me. I can be a vessel, a channel, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to be kind of the front man. It's such a relief to understand your spiritual path as something coming through you, unfolding through you, but it's not about you, and it's not you doing everything or having to do the heavy lifting and all the work. No, it's unfolding. It's a process of growing like a plant, putting out a leaf here, putting out a leaf there, and then blossoming. That's more of my vision about that. And now I lost the thread. Sorry.
Oh,
I
that's fine.
know.
Personally, I dislike the term chosen one, right? Because it
Me
implies
too.
that
I
you
have an
are.
aversion. I feel such an aversion against it. And I tried 2 or 3 times to click on a video like that to kind of prove to myself, be neutral, have a look, and then decide and choose. And I did that. And what was said in there after a few minutes, I just pressed stop and I left the video because it didn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's really the most important. What's your resonance? Where are you resonating? And observe also your resonance. Are you resonating with kind of weird or maybe stuff that's questionable? Let's say it neutrally like that. And why then are you? Maybe because you want to get attention, like the guy with the growing meteorite fake videos. Well, this is kind of the ego trip. The ego needs attention. Your soul does not. It's fine. It's joy, bliss, unconditional love, divine happiness, peace, everything. And the more you allow that to come through, the more you benefit from these higher frequencies. So it's a good idea to make a connection maybe with your own inner self, your true self, your higher self,
Hmm.
which is with you since your first incarnation. It knows you better than you yourself. And it's watching over you and it's planning your path of life, your soul journey through all the incarnations before birth, with your guides and with yourself, what you want to learn, what topic you pick. And in duality, we have to experience a little bit of both sides before we can make a decision right from kind of the neutral state of being like a scale in the middle, neutrality, the golden way of the middle, like Buddha said. And I always loved that.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think we, as spiritual beings, right? We're all on maybe different levels of experiences, right? The experiences that we've had as a soul, for example, right? So in that sense, yes, there may be souls that are more experienced than others, but at the end of the day, right, we're all one,
Yes,
and we're all going back up into source, into the creator, right? No man is an island. We have to
exactly.
we have to be in the state and in the mindset that we're not better than the next person. We are just having maybe a slightly different experience. Maybe my neighbor, maybe in this lifetime, he's not meant to go through an awakening. Maybe in this lifetime, he's meant to really struggle with his shadows, for example, right? So we're all at different levels, and for me, it is important that we realize this and that we acknowledge this, right? So in that sense, there is no chosen one. We're
Yeah,
all chosen, and we're all working towards elevating our frequencies.
exactly. That's more or less, I agree. That's more or less my point of view as well. I feel an aversion emotionally against the word chosen because I can sense all the wrong stuff being attached to it as well. And to me, it's either we are all chosen or no one is, you know.
Absolutely.
So to make that kind of something special, that's what all this kind of competition culture is all about, you know. I'm so special, I'm this, I'm that, you know. No, we're all made from the same stuff. And this stuff, science now calls the light photon, which is the building block of the universe, of us, everybody, everything in nature, even the stuff we build. All is made up from photons. And they managed to photograph the photon. And it's vibrating and oscillating. So, what they said about the atom, that it's in 1 nanosecond, measurably here in our dimension, visible and perceivable, and in another nanosecond, it's not here, it's somewhere else. And where is it? Well, in another dimension, that's it. It's vibrating and it's here and it's not here. It's always connecting kind of with source and running back so fast that we don't recognize it. I couldn't believe it when my guides told me, you are time traveling every second. You are OBE more or less every minute, but you just don't notice it because your focus is on the 3D physical level and you don't notice what the rest of you is doing all the time, you know? So that's very interesting that we are made really out of light photons and they are connected to everything and everywhere and they travel in speed we can't imagine and they go around and bring back information and other vibration into our systems. Isn't that interesting? So we're really a work in progress, but made of light. So we are light. And this is not the ego kind of grabbing, I am light, I am divine, I am God, now I manifest this and that, and I'm better than you. No, that's how the ego deals with that, you know, with better and competition and being special. I don't even want to be special, you know. I love the unity that I experience sometimes with animals or with plants and some other beings when I do my OBE travels and am on the spaceship of my Pleiadian Taygetan family, I suppose. And I have not found this kind of with humans on Earth, or very, very rarely. And this is just you're still yourself. You don't need to defend or explain yourself. You can just be who you are, be yourself, and the other one is as well. And in this higher frequency of respect, kindness, friendliness, or love, everything is flowing by itself and is regulating itself in the most wonderful and harmonious ways. You don't need to do anything. The ego is just creating chaos, confusion, separation. That's the, as they say in spiritual traditions, the biggest lie we fell for, to think we are separate. How can you ever be separate if you are light, separate from God, source, or the light, if you are yourself made up from the same stuff? That's the infiltration that was put upon us, kind of like covering our mind with stuff that's untrue. And we believed it because we were a young race, like babies. But now we're growing up and now we're growing discernment. And we watch what feels good and what does not, and we follow what feels good. That's really true. Follow your passion, whatever makes you feel happy. Well, it has enormous value for you because it leads you further, it lifts up your vibration, and it opens up new timelines and possibilities and chances that you would not encounter if you stay maybe in a low frequency, like, I'm angry about the whole world. They lied to us. They deceived us since how many thousands and 10,000s of years and what have you. Yes, I understand that. I had the anger myself, but it's not fruitful. If you stay there, you get stuck, and it's not bringing anything um, that helps further. So we need to change our vibration, raise it. Knowledge is helping first to be informed. Oh, I'm more than just this personality, this ego called Gabriele. Ah, that's at least opening up, your horizon of understanding. And if you try to come in contact more with that, well, then you're already kind of on the way. And the way is, to me, kind of like not automatic, but once you stepped over the fence and kind of wanted to know more about spiritual development, about your soul path, then you already stepped over the fence and there is no going back. And you don't even want to go back.
Yes. I
It's
mean,
impossible to go back and play the dumb you were 30 years ago, not knowing anything. It's impossible. And
yeah.
there is something like a quality on the soul path that ignites your curiosity, and you want to know more and understand better and deeper, and new experiences are awaiting you. So, that is very, very positive and attractive for me. I'm already bored that I have to brush my teeth every morning, every evening since 69 years. This routine is very boring for me. So I'm open for new stuff, for positive stuff that uplifts me, and I can feel that in my chest area while talking with you. I feel a vibration here, and although we touched on some difficult stuff in the beginning, that's also there. We are not denying that, but we are showing and practicing and embodying how to focus on stuff that makes us feel good. And that changes everything. That changes the field around you, your energy, your home, the atmosphere. And it might even infect other people for the good. I
Yeah.
was told when I wasn't even aware of being a medium, 20 something, just starting with the Rosicrucians and their knowledge, I was told by other people that I have such a calmness that I radiate. And I couldn't understand it at that age. Now I know it's a quality of my soul. And many people on my YouTube channel say, I have kind of a soothing voice, and they always feel calm and uplifted, and it's kind of making them feel good. Well, maybe that's a quality of my soul. And now I'm more aware of that. And I think, no, I don't think, I feel that even if I start to talk about difficult stuff, I want at least to end at the positive, higher vibrational stuff. So to go out of a conversation, uplifted with new energy, inspired. And I love that feeling so much. I wish everybody could have that because it's just wonderful. That's life to me. That's alive. And if you can share that with somebody, even better, even greater.
Absolutely. And I think, yeah, it starts with these things that we are talking about, right? It starts with joy. It starts with really doing the things that we love,
Yes,
having that permeate through us, and then we can take that higher frequency, we can take that joy, and we can also share it with others. And it becomes infectious, for the lack of a better word, but you get what I'm saying. It becomes something that is like a magnet.
yes.
So that is very important, the way that we manage our energy. Yeah, it can inspire others.
Well, it's said that the heart is magnetically. So we are kind of this torus energy form, which looks like a donut shape, In the middle column, the energy from the North and the South Pole is coming in and going out. And it's like, if you know these depictions of Earth's magnetic field, you have the planet, and then these kind of magnetic lines are coming out. So we are the same. Everything is built as a torus. Our brain is electric and our heart is magnetic. And the Heart Math Institute found out by measuring that the magnetic force of the heart is how much, I think 5 or 10 times stronger than the electric output of our brain. So this is really the center of us. And it's even now known in medicine that the heart has tissue like brain tissue. And in ancient traditions, the heart was seen as the real brain. Because here we have the two split halves, more feminine, holistic, intuitive, or rational male logic. And the heart is just one organ, not two split halves. It's kind of combining this and bringing the intuitive together with the logic creates wisdom. So
Mhm.
that's another quality. There you have one kind of piece and another piece you put together and you create a third. That's creation. In your heart, there are many ways to create because it's more than just a pumping blood organ, it's a perception organ. You feel love in your heart, and that's where the center of the microcosm, the bigger field we are that has more or less 30 meters energy-wise in diameter around us. So even going through the park, you affect everything. You don't even have to touch another person. Your vibrational field around you affects everything, yourself and others. And if we turn into our heart and focus onto the heart, that will guide us. Old traditions also said, follow your heart, and not follow your brain.
Gabriel, you mentioned intuition and logic, right? And there is this concept that is, I've heard several times. Would this be referring to what we consider the heart-brain coherence? Is that
Yes,
balance of
exactly.
the intuition and the logical mind?
Yes, my view is that we got it wrong, maybe on purpose to keep us from waking up to our real divine potential. We live like the head is giving instruction to the heart how to feel. This does not work. That's exactly where people get problems. If they suddenly are angry or fell in love, that kind of disables all the brain and logic thinking. It's got to be the other way round. It's the heart where the real intelligence, the wisdom, the logic and intuition work together, and the heart gives order to the brain where to go, what to think, which list to make, and then it's like AI fulfilling a task it was ordered to. And if you don't have kind of the order coming from the heart, then your brain is running wild. And this is what makes many people so kind of unfocused and confused because they're thinking this and that and the other and all the other stuff coming in from mainstream. There is a thousand line of thoughts and feelings, and there is no order in the chaos because the head cannot be the ordering principle. It can only be the heart because the heart is connected to your soul, to higher consciousness, your higher self. That's the ordering principle. That's kind of source within you, trying to do the right thing and trying to walk the right path. And this, the ego and the brain, is very often interfering because it's not aware of its position in the whole system. And if it knows that it's a servant, it can be very happy to be a good servant doing what the heart is ordering. But the heart has to be cleansed first to not be kind of corrupted by all the unsolved emotional issues that we gathered through our lifetimes, like not overcoming rejection or whatever. Luckily, although it took me many years, I overcame it now and I understand, oh, the rejection was in my life and I chose it pre-birth to kind of force me to go into self-acceptance finally and stop being dependent on what others think about me or as what they see me. I'm enough for myself. And I think that's something valuable. One should be okay with oneself. And I wasn't. In former times, I wasn't okay with myself. This is very new for me, and I really love how this is soothing everything. You know, I still make mistakes. I sometimes fall into a trap and I do something wrong. And it's okay. I don't judge myself any longer for it. And I also stop judging others in the outside. So there you have the very raw, pure, and direct effect of if you do something in here, it has direct effect in the outside world. And before, years and years before, I needed to judge someone else as bad to feel good or better like him or her. This construct is telling you everything. If you need to belittle someone else to feel bigger, what does that tell you about that feeling? That's an illusion. We're all the same. We have different gifts and different paths. And that's wonderful because if we would all be on the same, we would trample ourselves. There wouldn't be enough space. That's why God or Source created diversity on purpose. Imagine a world where everything is just red. No, this one color, nothing else. How boring. Ooh! How wonderful that we have the rainbow And in the other dimensions, I even saw colors that do not exist here. They don't even have a name, and I can't describe him. But so many colors, much more than the rainbow. That's why diversity is good. And it's about finding unity in diversity, allowing the other to be like he is, like she is, and allowing yourself as well to be like you are and like you want to be. It's just about being authentic yourself, you know? And it took me 60 years to find that out.
Absolutely.
If I had known earlier.
Yeah, being, as you said, being authentic with yourself, right? And the realization that we are all a part of the bigger picture, right? We all have these gifts uh,
Yeah,
that we can offer, right? To get to that point where we form, a balanced and a high vibrational community where we're supporting each other, right? My talents, maybe I'm good with farming. You're good with sewing clothes, and we all come together like pieces of a puzzle, right? So
exactly.
we all can contribute, and at the end of the day, I like the term that like no man is an island, right?
Yes.
We cannot do it alone, right? We all have different gifts and talents that we can contribute, and I think that is what is going to take us to the next step when we realize that we are better together than separate. When we're better without the competition, but the cooperation. Right?
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
really important.
Coming to my mind, something, if you allow me, um, there is kind of this Solomonian wisdom. And I know a wonderful little story. It's a teaching story, an example from the Chinese tradition about a judge, not like Solomon, where these two women appeared and were kind of fighting over a kid, saying, "This is my child, no, this is my child." And then Solomon said, "Okay, I cut it in half, everybody gets a half, and that's it, that's my judgment." Of course, the real mother said then, "No." So that's a very good trick to find out the truth, as a symbolic teaching story. And I know this Chinese story, which I even find better or more intriguing. To the judge in China, there are coming two neighbors, and they are in fight about a wall that has broken down between their two houses and the land around. And one accuses the other that his cow kind of was stomping with the back onto the wall, so it broke in, and now they don't have this wall between their two properties. And he wants the one with the cow to build up the wall again and do it all alone and pay for the stones and everything. And in the end, this is kind of like it's going in our world. We are judging someone. He's the guilty one. He has his cow did this, and now he has to rebuild and so on. And the Chinese judge finds a very interesting solution. He orders both neighbors to build and rebuild the wall together, and a stronger one, and everybody is investing and paying into some stones and mortar and so and what have you, so that it is a work piece of both of them. So he kind of forces them to work together. And even if you don't like the neighbor, you have to ask him, "Can you give me this stone, please? Can you give me the mortar?" By that, you learn to work together for the higher good, that both of you then have a wall that's stable and solid and firm, and which no cow can destroy again. And this is what it's all about. We're all growing and building and learning and sometimes fighting with each other, but for a higher good, you know. And we don't know about this higher good. So many don't know that there is a plan and that it's about, you know, understanding and tapping back into our divine power. So I just love this idea of the Chinese judge, you know, looks like authority and forces them to do what they both didn't want. But what comes out is something that's so much better, and they have to engage. You cannot work with someone you hate. You have to find some way to get along because of the work.
Mm.
And that's kind of the trick or the help and the solution. By this, you can let go of all your opinions, your judgments, and it's just about building a wall together, you know?
And that both will take pride in, right? Both will take pride in and both will
Yes.
maintain.
And it's uniting, you know, and if we come together with people, even with animals, and pet them and touch them, there is this special hormone that's kind of the hormone called for relationship, building relationship. If we relate, you know, love relates. Hate and anger do not relate. They want to destroy. So it's about relating with ourselves, with others, and love is the ultimate relationship. Love yourself, then you love others because you just can't help, you know. And the more you love yourself, the more these kind of corners within you that you think are not yet good or in alignment or whatever, they become less important because you don't focus on them. And the love can do its work and even clean and heal them as well. And turn a false pride into something else, you know, into a right pride, to be proud about what you really achieved. And that's okay. And by that, you're not better or chosen or what have you, or the guru, the master of the universe, the emperor of China, the reincarnation of what have you. You're just you, and that's okay. We don't even need to know. I know it's very tempting in the beginning. What incarnations did I have? Was I this? Was I that? You know, and you have so many in the beginning of the regression hypnosis therapies. You had so many Cleopatras. And nobody knew at that time about the imprint that a soul can kind of download an imprint, like a blueprint for what she or he wants to learn and achieve in this life. And of course, some of these famous figures or characters, like rulers or Cleopatra or what have you, they are very good blueprints to download. And Dolores Cannon found that out with the imprints that souls have imprints from incarnations that were real, but they were not this incarnation. I had that happen to myself, and that was really interesting that I had the imprint of someone and it felt so real. I myself could not have discerned whether this was a life of mine or of someone else because I felt it during the hypnosis. And at the end of the session, without being asked for that, my higher self, seems to be an honest guy or whatever, said by himself or herself, "This is not her incarnation. This is an imprint of a sister soul she is given to learn from."
Wow.
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 Yeah.
That is interesting. I mean, I would love to get into that topic, but about imprints, but I think that is for our next chat. I have so many questions there,
Yes, let's keep some things for next time.
but it's so interesting the
Yeah,
concept of the imprint, right? And I was going to ask you, how do you differentiate? But then you said your higher self came through and actually told you and actually said that this was an imprint. But
yeah.
I guess that that doesn't happen for everyone who may have actually experienced an imprint, right? So how do you And does it even matter? I mean, if you're shown it, there is some value to.
Does not really matter because it's about the information of that life, you know. But many people, they go for, oh, I was Cleopatra, you know. So there you have the ego trait again coming in and interfering, attaching and trying to create a speciality because there is an imprint of Cleopatra. I could not discern while experiencing it in the hypnosis, but it brought me to ponder a lot afterwards. But what I found out is you can ask for it. And if you don't have it on the screen, okay, then maybe you take that life as yours. If you don't attach to the personality, but take, you know, the learning, the lesson of that life. It's not about that a king learned it, a beggar could have learned it as well, a totally unknown person that is not famous like Cleopatra. It's about the content, not the form aspect, you know. So asking for it or kind of asking with the pendulum or the kinesiological muscle test, you will get the answer whether it's an imprint or not. I was kind of astonished and surprised because during my kind of career as a medium with clients, I had many, mostly women, that more or less in kind of a situation of trust came up with and shared with me, um, I feel like the incarnation of Mary Magdalene, and my husband is like the incarnation of Jesus. And the first time I heard it from someone, I went, really? Then I heard it a second, a third, and more times. And then when I got the information about the imprints in my own QHHT hypnosis practitioner training, I thought, oh, wow, they're all having this imprint for kind of a relationship between of male and female, because that's kind of a good example. And they are taking it as if it is really their own incarnation and they are the real incarnation of Jesus or Mary Magdalene. And then they attach to that, and that leads astray. It's about the information about this kind of living a divine relationship with the male and female part in harmony and balance in human vessels.
Mhm.
So of course you also kind of download an imprint for, let's say, the topic of love, relationship, having a partner. You can download imprints for everything. I mean, if you try to imagine you're a soul planning your next journey and what to experience in the next incarnation, you would take all the helpful tools, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I guess it's easy to get caught up into the characters, versus
That's it, you know.
the um, meaning or the usage of that experience, right?
Yes, you know, when I was young and we got television, there was this TV series with an American astronaut who found a bottle with a genie in there who could fulfill the wishes. And the series was called Genie. And there was this woman called Genie in Arabic clothes, and she came out of a cloud of smoke from this bottle and fulfilled his wishes. And sometimes she did something else. And oh my God, my battery is nearly over. Maybe I have to go and fetch it. And this actor, the male part in this movie, later played the bad character J.R. Ewing in the Dallas TV movies. And he was playing kind of the villain all the time. And some people just couldn't get over it. And I heard that there once was an older lady, and she was so upset that he was such a villain that when she met him in public by accident, she went straight at him and slapped him with her handbag in the face. So there you have it, you know. That was a role the guy was playing. And we are playing roles. We are playing the good guy, the bad guy, the rich one, the bad one, the spiritual guy, you know, whatever, the deceiver. This is how soul grows and experiences. If you ever take part in a theater workshop where you can play roles you would never choose, play the villain and play the hero, you're kind of experimenting with yourself, and you might discover some gifts
Mhm. You
along
want to
the
have the
way.
full, you want to have the full experience, right? Not
Yes,
uh,
exactly. So that's why many ancient traditions also say this is like the stage, this planet Earth, the world as we know it is a stage, and the soul comes in playing different characters in this special theater play. And it's not about the roles, it's about what you learn and experience while playing a certain part. And you play many parts because we don't have only just one incarnation. There's old souls that have a bit more incarnation than others. There's young souls, you know, and we're all on the way. And maybe just the old souls have a little bit more of knowledge, but they're not better or knowledgeable or chosen or what have you. They are just a little bit older. It's like grandparents. Of course, they know more because they have already 80 years life on their back, you know. So they smile when the teenager is falling in love for the first time, and it's so dramatic. Oh my God, this is defining my whole life. And they say, there will come others. Just wait, my dear one. This is not the end of all. So that's how it's going. Either I have to go and fetch my battery now, or we close. What do you think?
well, I think maybe we can close. I think we covered quite a bit today, so
Okay.
we should definitely save some for the next chat.
Yes, to never run out of topics that are interesting, hopefully, for you as well, beautiful souls watching. And thank you for spending some time with us, and I hope you get something from it. As always, blessings, liberation, and fortitude to you, beautiful souls, on your soul path. Thank you, Dewayne, and thank you all.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.